with the.
And we're back.
All right. So thank you very much. Had you that was minute 12. Had you any other comments to make, Dr. Paul? Was it the
I didn't realize it was 2 minutes. That's why I closed up so quickly. Yeah, no, but my basic premise is still the same. That it historically has not worked. Do you feel safer today than you did 10 years ago? I don't think so. I don't feel any safer. But I feel like that if we all live as individuals and we all can try to make responsible decisions, that's where our focus should be. It should not be on overseas. It should not be on the terrorists. We put all those resources into protecting our own border and our national defense and our national security, and they can try to attack us all they want, but our one constitutional obligation is to defend this nation. And so that's where this $700-some billion, if not more, of the military-industrial complex, that's where those resources need to be put in the defense of our borders, not on encroaching on our civil liberties and our civil rights. We should start worrying more about the borders between the United States and Mexico than that between Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Thank you very much. Rocky Anderson, you.
This is another example of both parties favoring these civil rights abuses of the American government. And both parties favor just targeting civilians. And this is not just normal American civilians. They target every person that happens to look Arab or Muslim in the airport, and they detain them for indefinite amounts of time. They send them down to Guantanamo Bay. We need to end Guantanamo Bay. We need to get rid of it. We need to stop torturing people. If we stop torturing, we stop detainment camps, we stop all these civil liberties abuses, more countries and more people who actually like to come here and invest in here, and actually the United States will grow and prosper because of it, because we won't have as many enemies planning to attack us.
Thank you very much. Mr. President,
I extended the Patriot Act because I believe that the information that it has brought forth has helped prevent and deter terrorist acts from happening within the United States. When I signed the NDAA, I signed it with serious reservations about the clause that would make for the indefinite detention of American citizens. I believe that this will never be used, and if so, I will work to repeal the bill.
Thank you very much. Mitt Romney had passed earlier. Do you wish to take the time, or do you still wish to?
I'll pass.
Okay. We shall get to the 1 minute retort, so Dr. Gingrich, if you wish to.
It is imperative that we tell the truth about national security. We need an honest dialogue and determination to be candid about our opponents, honest about the problems, passionately committed to the survival of America as a free country. Keeping America safe is the most important duty of the government, as my opponents have mentioned, and that is why the confusion and incoherence of the Obama administration's response to the threats facing America is so troubling. I advocate sound policies to keep America safe based on timeless American principles.
Thank you very much. Dr. Paul.
So, real quick, you're telling us to trust you when you cheated on 2 wives, one with cancer, but that's a different story for a different day. That's why your poll numbers are so great right now. Anyways, I don't really have anything to say. I think I made my point. That I'm the only one who's consistent, never voted for a tax increase, never voted for an unbalanced budget, never voted for an increase in the debt ceiling, and never voted for a bailout in 30 years. With me, you might not agree with me on everything, but you know what you're going to get when I get to the White House. You might agree with 70%, 80%. Well, at least with these guys, I mean, flip-flopper, Etch-a-Sketch, and Obama, I mean, is what he's doing now what he campaigned on? No, because he's done nothing. We have 88 million people unemployed right now. We have more illegal immigrants in this country than we have unemployed people. How about we talk about immigration reform? There's so many different things going on right now, and these candidates fail to actually address the legitimate points that are deteriorating this country right now. If our focus is on prosperity and about empowering our people to live better lives, then we need somebody who is reliable and conservative and has a consistent record, not the only one on the stage who has that record.
Thank you very much. Rocky Anderson.
I would agree with Representative Paul here, though I would add that I also have an executive experience as mayor of Salt Lake City and as the president of the High Roads for Humanity nonprofit organization that I created. Foreign policy and national security is very important, and we need to protect ourselves. But Iran, Iraq are not a threat to the United States security. Why would they be a threat to the United States security? They have no military, we continue to support Israel through neck and thin, despite all the human rights abuses by the government of Israel. We do need to talk about immigration. Immigration is one of the most significant ideas that make us city.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, you have the floor.
I believe that the signing of the NDAA and the extension of the Patriot Act will help to ensure the security of America and its citizens.
Thank you very much. And Romney, your last chance if you wish to.
Just when it comes to securing the borders, I am not opposed to actually building a physical structure along the Mexican-American border.
Thank you very much. Before we address the next audience question, in order to get this question addressed, I think it should be asked. So, considering immigration, that has come multiple times, within the past 2 years, multiple states have strengthened their immigration policies. Does such a policy shift reflect the nation's best interests? We shall begin with Mr. President.
My goal is to create a 21st century immigration system by continuing to fulfill the federal government's responsibility to securing our borders, demanding accountability for businesses that break the law by undermining American workers and exploiting undocumented workers, strengthening our economic competitiveness by creating a legal immigration system that reflects our values and our diverse needs, and requiring responsibility from the people who are living in the United States illegally. Building on progress during the last 2 years, the administration has taken important steps to improve our immigration system within the boundaries of existing laws. For example, my administration has dedicated unprecedented amount of resources to securing our border. We've made the interior work site enforcement smarter and more effective, and we have worked to improve our legal immigration systems as well.
Thank you very much. Dr. King.
Well, I'm glad immigration has come up because I propose 10 steps to a legal nation. America must be a nation of laws. America is also a land of immigrants, and our lives and our economy and history have been enriched by immigration. There has to be a robust and attractive program of legal immigration. Therefore, the major positive economic and social benefits to streamlining and simplifying our convoluted broken visa process exist. At the core of being American is a thorough understanding of American exceptionalism. We are a nation not defined as a place of ethnic heritage, but as a collective understanding that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is precisely these rights, freedoms, and opportunities that have drawn ambitious, risk-taking immigrants to our shores for 4 centuries. It is essential that every native-born American and every immigrant learn about this exceptional heritage and our exceptional history. There are 3 principles now that I would like to discuss. Number 1, no comprehensive plan can work. President Bush would not pass one during 6 years with a Republican Congress. President Obama would not pass one with the Democratic Congress. Immigration reform can be outlined as a complete proposal, but only it has to be passed in a series of steps, each one understood and passed by its own merits. Under no circumstances can a path to citizenship be created which would allow those who have broken the law to receive precedence over those who have patiently waited to become residents and citizens via the legal process. Those who have adhered to our immigration law cannot be usurped by those who have violated it. And number 3, we must reconcile with our goal of legality with the reality that there are millions of immigrants currently here outside the law, some with a long set of family and community ties, and some with no ties at all.
Thank you very much. Mitt Romney, you have.
All right, when it comes to immigration, we need to work so we can get the people who want to come over here legally can come over here legally. We can't let immigrants or illegal immigrants become American citizens. They've come over here illegally and they've cheated the system. I actually applaud the H-1B visa and think that that should be used more. And when it comes to borders, we need to enforce them. And as I said before, I am not opposed to putting a physical obstacle there on the border.
Thank you very much. Dr. Paul.
Again, I always like to refer to history, but when we look at history and immigration in any country, what do walls do? Look at what happened in the Berlin Wall. That separated a prosperous, free nation with an iron fist ruled country. It separated them, and they had armed guards there. Fences never end well. It ended up coming down anyways. As for amnesty and immigration reform, it was done under Reagan in the 1980s. Reagan did, as you always championed your time with Reagan in the 1980s, they had immigration reform with amnesty in the 1980s, but then failed to follow up with that, failed to fix the system, and now we have a recurring problem of more people. We have more illegal immigrants in this country than we do have people who are, or we have less illegal immigrants in this country than we do have that are Americans out of work right now. 88 million people out of work, 50 million immigrants. How does that work out? I don't really know. President Obama, he's trying to deal with it right now, unconstitutionally. His Department of Homeland Security, they actually are talking about having illegal immigrant waiver forms, which actually grants temporary legal status to illegal immigrants if they can prove that one of their relatives is a born U.S. citizen. He's doing that right now underneath the radar, and it's unconstitutional. I'm the only one up here who wants to talk about the constitutional ways that we can make this country better. As for immigration, America's a country of immigrants. That's what made us so great. Right now we have illegal immigrants coming in because they're attracted to our minimum wage laws. Why would a Mexican work in Mexico and get paid $3 a day when they can come to the United States and be guaranteed to make $7.15 a day? It goes to the failure of minimum wage laws. Americans don't want to make $7.15 an hour. They're going to always strive to make more than $7.15 an hour. But a legal immigrant will come to America just to make $7.15 an hour. And that's why we see the illegal immigrant class of workers. They all make these, they're in the kitchens, they're cutting grass, they're making the low-paying jobs. They're not stealing American jobs because Americans don't want to do that. It goes to show that the minimum wage both attracts illegal immigration, but it also it causes. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anderson.
Well, as mayor of Salt Lake City, Utah, I advocated for much-needed immigration reform. The U.S. immigration system is outdated, it is slow, it is unjust. And as mayor of Salt Lake City, I successfully sued the state of Utah and got rid of the English-only law. I have always advocated for comprehensive immigration reform that would provide for illegal immigrants who have been always, besides coming here illegally, been no problem with the law, no problems with getting in jail or anything, on a path to citizenship. And we need to better get more people into this country to pay taxes, to benefit society, and to increase the welfare of every single human being in this country.
Thank you very much. For 1 minute reports, we begin with Mr. President.
I believe that we must address immigration at the root of the problem if we are going to talk about it at all. We need to, first of all, make sure the businesses that are exploiting the illegal immigrants that pour into our borders are taking the task about it, and that way we can address the real problem with it, and that is the exploitation of these workers.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gingrich.
Well, at this point, I would like to outline my 10-point solution. Number one, we must control the border. Number two, we must create a 21st century visa program to expedite the process of becoming a legal citizen. Three, we must insource the best brains in the world to promote American ingenuity. Four, very simply, we must allow foreigners who want to spend their money and invest and create jobs in this country do so. We should also institute some reform here because there has to be a legal guest worker program. But its management must be outsourced to a sophisticated manager of anti-fraud systems such as with American Express, Visa, or MasterCard. Point 6, we must create a path to earned legality for some of the millions of people who are here outside of the law, because we simply can't force them to leave. So
Thank you very much. Mitt Romney.
When it comes down to it, we want people to come over here legally. The H-1B visa does that, and I actually had
Just a quick point to make that. Well, the root of immigration and illegal immigration in this country is not exploitation. That's completely wrong. The immigration, in the United States, these immigrants are being exploited in Mexico. They're coming here for opportunity. They're not getting exploited in America. That's just utterly wrong. People come here because America is the land of opportunities. They make $3 a day in Mexico working all day in a factory. So the exploitation is happening there, not here. But again, just to turn to a different note, we have to look at, a lot of us know illegal immigrants. I personally know some illegal immigrants. A lot of these candidates are talking about sending them all home. But the issue isn't that. They have children here. They have families here. They're part of the American way of life now. Are we really advocating splitting up families? Is that what the American government wants to do? I mean, we're already doing it in Afghanistan and Iraq and other countries around the world. But do we really want to do it to people living in the United States now? This government is getting so far and farther away from the principles that made us so great that we're going to be just turned into a totalitarian state similar to the Soviet Union with no economy, no freedom, and no way to produce.
Thank you very much. Dr. Anderson, you have the last word on this.
Well, the rigid laws that Republicans mainly favor, like the one in Arizona, will only hurt America's economy. The illegal immigrants are the only ones that come here and work these low-paying jobs and help the American economy and help the agricultural industry. And if we allow them to become citizens, they can better contribute to America and become and live the American dream.
Thank you very much. In the meanwhile, if you please slice the film there.